Site of Alderman's Ford, first crossing point of the Alafia River in this vicinity. In 1848, James Alderman settled near this site, a densely forested area, and cut down the steep banks of the Alafia River to make it easier for horses and wagons to ford it. The area became known as Alderman's Ford. As the land to the south of the river became more settled and crossings increased, the area around the ford grew in popularity for meetings and socializing. Picnics were common here as early as 1888. In 1902, the site became the scene of political rallies. In an era before the growth of mass communications, many political careers were launched at the ford. For more than half a century, the Democratic Party of Hillsborough County kicked off its campaign by popping political fireworks at the park. Today, John and I are exploring Alderman's Ford Park here in Alafia, Plant City area of Florida. There's a few trails here, and John and I are going to try to explore a good portion of all of them. So Alderman's Ford Park is off County Road 39 here in Alafia, Plant City area. And there's several conservation parks, state parks, county parks in the area. And it is called the Alafia River Corridor, because all of these parks in some way are adjacent to the Alafia River. So the trail that we are on now is going to eventually take us to the Alafia River. And all of this area at one time was phosphate mines. So a few weeks ago, we went to a park down the road, Alafia River State Park, and that one had a lot of uneven terrain, a lot of changes in elevations. So we are interested to see how this park is going to compare to that. Right now, so far, all we've gotten are flat trails and hard sand, easy walking. Yep, it's definitely rushing water. So I'm wondering if we're getting close to the river. Yeah, we didn't put mosquito repellent on. I thought it was too cool for it, that we wouldn't need it. It's muddy. There's been a lot of rain recently, so I'm sure all the creeks that flow into the river are going to be pretty full. So all along this trail is a little creek, and with all the rain that we've had lately, the creek's pretty full, and we get a nice peaceful sound of running water as we hike. So it's relaxing. So we are a bit surprised how many mosquitoes we are encountering out on the trail. You know, Florida's, you're gonna have mosquitoes no matter what, but usually when it's cooler, you don't have as many. But I guess because the area here is so wet that even in the cold weather, the mosquitoes are out. Now, I know some people that are from the up north is probably laughing that I think mid-50s is cold weather. And for Florida, it kind of is. I mean, we do have our cold days. You know, we will have days that get into the 40s and nights that could easily dip into the 30s, especially in northern Florida. But generally speaking, in Florida, you will have a cooler day and, you know, have a high of 60 degrees. And then the next day, the low is 60 and the high is close to 80. So you just never know how to prepare for a winter day in Florida. Usually we start on the cooler days layering our clothes, and as the day progresses, we start peeling off items of clothing. But, you know, and we are learning a lesson. We have the insect repellent in the car, and we didn't apply it before we hit the trail. And that just goes to show that even in cooler weather, always apply the insect repellent. And you think, as Floridians, we would know that. This trail, here we are over here at the river. Yeah. Yeah, we have to turn around. So this part here is flooded. And there's the river up there. You can tell that the river's high.
Yeah.
So it's way high because there's trees that are underwater. And it's flowing along at a pretty good pace. So bridge, the water's really clear. Now this part of the trail, it's still flat, has a few more roots. Still not bad though. I don't know if you want to go on. It looks like, yeah, it's there's water here, so you're gonna have to move to the side. Don't slip. No, here it's flooded. I mean, it's not flooded bad, but I don't want to. Yeah, the mosquitoes are bad, and I don't want to walk through. Yeah, I don't want to walk through mud. Okay, we opted to turn around on this trail as well. I think this is the loop from where we were flooded out before. The water's not hugely deep. For people that hike all the time, they probably would have no problem wading through that water. But there's other trails here for us to explore. And we're just gonna skip the rest of this trail. Okay, so this is Orange Trail, and Orange Trail is a 1.8 mile paved loop. So we're gonna be sharing the trail with not only walkers, but bicyclists, rollerbladers, skateboards, all of that. Pet waste station. Okay, so now the Orange Trail, the paved trail, narrows a little. Oh yeah, this is the canoe launch here. Okay, so here is along this 1.8 mile orange trail is another parking area and restrooms. And I'm gonna go look at this sign here. John says that this is a separate area that is connected to Alderman's Ford. And this is the entrance here. So let's see. All right, so this is Alderman's Ford Regional Park. All right, so now if you wanted to go canoeing, you would park at Alderman's Ford Regional Park. And that is where you would find the canoe launch. It's only $2 per car to get into Alderman's Ford Regional Park or Alderman's Ford Park. So either one is just $2. $2 fee. So we are going to continue along our 1.8 mile loop, which I believe is Orange Trail. The Alafia River Corridor through Lithia and Plant City, Florida, is just a beautiful part of Florida to explore. There's numerous trails out here, numerous parks. You know, it's a great place to get outdoors, a great area to get outdoors. Lots of activities from hiking to canoeing to kayaking to horseback riding. All of it is available at one park or another here along the river. I mean, this water is just so clear, I can't get over it. Here we have the remote restrooms and the primitive campsites and more hiking trails. That looks like Brown Trail. And John and I are still on the 1.8 mile paved loop trail. So the primitive campsites and Brown Trail is off of the 1.8 mile paved loop. No, this is a different bridge. Okay, so we have a choice here. We have the bridge to go back to the parking area, main trail, or we have a shoot off of the trail boardwalk. I don't know where the boardwalk could just be a dead end. You want to try it?
Yeah, we try.
Okay, the sign here says the boardwalk is less than 1/2 mile loop. Yeah, I'm hoping to see a gator sunning himself. Or a turtle. Not so much a snake. Although I don't mind seeing a snake from up here on the boardwalk. So we haven't seen the first alligator, and we are thinking that might be because of how fast the water's flowing. So we're gonna do some research on that. But we think we had read somewhere or heard somewhere that alligators don't like flowing water. So, something we need to research. Well, that tree gives you a good idea of just how flooded it is. So we finally found the gator. So I think we just debunked the myth of them not liking flowing water.
Well, they're not in the water.
Well, no, but he had to get there somehow.
Well, it's not flowing as much on that side over there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's still flowing pretty good, see? So you got to see your gator today. You get a good picture?
Yeah.
Did you take a few?